Just a few days ago, Perplexity has released R1-1776. This is not really a new AI model. This is just a different version of the DeepSeek R1 that was released just about a month ago from the DeepSeek company from China. Now, because it is from China, the R1 model, even though it is open source and a lot of people find it to be useful, it is full of censorship, especially if you're asking anything towards the that is critical towards the Chinese Communist Party or the Xi Jinping government. It is not going to give you an accurate answer. It's going to be very, very biased. But the R1-1776 is the clean version of DeepSeek R1. So it is something that now has been open sourced by Perplexity. So anyone can download the model from Hugging Face. This is the repo on Hugging Face. And then you can run it on your computer, or you can even run it on the server, and maybe you can build your own web application from there. Now, that's not something that everybody can do because, let's face it, it's very expensive, it is very technical. So if you want to enjoy using R1-1776, you can just use the Perplexity web interface. If you go to the drop-down menu right here, there is the option for reasoning with R1, and it is actually not using the same R1 from the deepseek.com. It is using the R1-1776, the version that has been cleaned by Perplexity. So you can pretty much ask anything about the Chinese Communist Party. You can be critical about it. So that's the benefit of using the R1-1776. And of course, it is a reasoning model, so it is going to be much better than the regular AI model. But this video is not about how you can run R1-1776 on your computer. I think that's not something that you can do. Instead, I'm going to show you on how you can create your own simple chatbot that is being powered by the R1-1776. Now, before we get into that, I want to go to the Perplexity documentation. So this is going to show you a lot of things that are important about the API documentation on how you can utilize this tool to create your own application powered by Perplexity API. Now click on the guides right here, and if you go to the supported models, you will see that there are some models that are available in Perplexity API. There is Sonar, Sonar Reasoning, Sonar Pro, etc. But there is also a new model like R1-1776, and it is actually very similar to Sonar Reasoning Pro when it comes to context length and also the pricing. So if you go to the pricing here, you'll see that it is very much similar. So Sonar Reasoning Pro costs $2 for a million token input and $8 for the output, which is the same as the R1-1776, $2 for input and then $8 for 1 million of token. Now, I don't know the pricing of 1000 searches, but because it is actually not available. So unlike the Sonar model, which has access to the internet, the R1-1776 is completely offline. And if that is something that's okay to you, then you can definitely use this reasoning model for your simple chatbot application. So how do you build the application if you are not a programmer or developer? Well, we can code at least using AI. So we can ask AI to generate the code, and then we can use the code to build the application. Let me show you how you can do it. So let's go to Perplexity again. Yeah, we are going to use Perplexity web interface to build the code for a Perplexity powered chatbot. Yeah, that's very interesting. But anyway, I'm going to use this prompt that I have prepared for this video. This is actually very similar to my to the prompt that I used on my previous video about how to create a chatbot powered by the Perplexity API. And I think that's actually a great thing, especially if you're subscribing to the pro subscription of Perplexity, because you are getting $5 of free API credit every month, which is very useful. If you know how to use it, it's very, very useful. Now, I'm not going to read all the prompts right here, but basically just trust me. If you're not a developer, just trust me that this prompt is going to give you the code for a web-based application that is utilizing the Perplexity API. If you understand how to, about technicality on the application development, then you can modify the prompt. But if you're not, then just follow this prompt and you should be good. Now, make sure to enable the pro mode, because I think that's a lot better. You can also enable web and academic and social, but honestly, the academic and social is not really necessary because we're just building code. This is not for research. Anyway, let's click the send button and just wait until Perplexity generating all the code that is necessary for the application. And yeah, this is quite interesting because we are using Perplexity to build a application that is powered by Perplexity API. Yeah, that's something that can only happen recently. Okay, well, the code has been created. I think that's very quick. But honestly, I'm not really trusting the code because this answer was generated by the Sonar AI model. So by default, I'm using Sonar, but you know, the code quality, at least from my experience, wasn't very good. That's why I'm going to click rewrite and then use Cloud 3.5 Sonnet. You can use GPT-4o as well because I think that's pretty good. But in this case, I'm going to be using Cloud 3.5 Sonnet. All right, now AI is recreating the answer with a different AI model, and hopefully we can get a much better quality code. Well, I can tell that the code is a bit longer than the one that was created by the Sonar model. Hopefully, it means that the code quality is better. Okay, it's still answering. Maybe just a few more seconds. Okay. Wow, it's very long. Okay, it's still finishing the code. Okay, now it is finally done. I'm going to click on this button to copy all the code. And let's go to a Google Chrome. Let's go to Google and search for render HTML online. I just want to know how the website is going to look like. Now you have to visit this link, htmledit.squarefree.com. That's my favorite place to just preview an HTML application. Now I'm going to remove this, right click, and then paste. So this is how the chatbot is going to look like. It's very basic. Maybe it could be better, but at least we can get the basic version of the application. If you're not satisfied with the result, you can always go back to Perplexity and then asking for revision. You can ask for the changes. You can ask for, you know, new features or maybe a different interface. You can definitely do that. But I think this one is good enough. By the way, we are not going to just paste the Perplexity API right here. It's not going to work. This is only for previewing the application. Now, if you want to use it as your own application, you have to put it into a document, into a .html file. Now, this is how you can do it. I'm going to right click on this folder and then click new and then click text document. And let's call this file chatbot.txt. Let's hit enter again, right click, paste, and then you can click file, click save. I'm going to close this, and after that, you have to go to file and make sure to enable file name extension because we want to change the format from .txt to .html. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Now, after that, you want to right click on the file, click rename, and we are going to change txt right here to HTML, and then hit enter again. And after that, you can just drag and drop this file to your browser. And there you go. Now, the API key has been inserted because I actually have done the testing, but let me remove that. So I'm going to show you how you can get the API key. You have to visit Perplexity, go to this gear icon, the settings page, click API, and you can click the copy button to copy your API key. But if you haven't created one, you can click the generate button and then click copy to get your own API key. Now let's go back to the Perplexity chatbot application. I'm going to right click and then paste the API key. And by the way, this is the system prompt. You can modify it as much as you like, but I'm going to be using just the default system prompt. And I'm going to try to send some message to the R1-1776. Hello, what model are you? And click send. It is still trying to give me the answer. Okay, so there's something wrong with the formatting. I don't think it is coming from the code. Sorry, I don't think it's coming from the AI itself. I think it's more like from the coding. So I do believe it is the coding problem, because it's, there are a lot of space that are unnecessary. So yeah, it's just my suspicion. So if you're not sure, you can ask Perplexity again, and then asking for the telling the problem, and then asking for the solution. It's usually going to give you the full code again to replace the faulty code. Now I want to know what is the latest AI news. It's not going to know because it is an offline model. Okay, they released May 2024, so it's been more than a year ago. And that's just a proof that it is not connected to the internet, and that's why it is not able to read content from the internet. It's not going to know about the latest news. And yeah, I think this is very much offline, which some people might find it to be useful. But anyway, that's basically how you can create a simple chatbot powered by the DeepSeek R1-1776 via Perplexity API. If you find this video to be useful, then please consider subscribing to this channel, and I'll see you on the next video.